Every day you say to yourself, just a little more, I can do it. You take another step. And another. But what happens when you don't stop? When your work, commitments, and worries consume your whole life, you risk losing not only your health, but everything you've worked so hard to build.
Do you think recycling is okay? A temporary effort for the sake of future success? Maybe. But over time, they start to destroy you from the inside out. How? Let's see. When we process, our body is compromised. The stress you experience every day can lead to chronic disease. High stress levels increase the risk of heart attack, stroke, diabetes, and obesity. In one of the largest studies from the European Heart Association in 2015, it was proven that people who work more than 55 hours a week have a 33% higher risk of developing cardiovascular disease than those who stick to the standard 40 hours. Overwork leads to elevated levels of cortisol, a stress hormone that causes inflammation, disrupts metabolism, and weakens the immune system. It's like a vicious cycle. The harder you work, the more vulnerable you become. But it's not just the body. Your emotions are also victims of constant stress. You may not notice how stress takes over your psyche. Instead of coping, you start to lose control. Scientific studies show that prolonged recycling causes emotional burnout, depression, and anxiety disorders. Your neurotransmitters like serotonin and dopamine, which are responsible for happiness and motivation, begin to shut down. You don't notice how you lose contact with the world around you. More and more nervousness, irritability, insomnia. You don't know how to stop, but your body is already screaming for help. According to a Harvard Medical School study, prolonged stress damages neurons in the hippocampus, the area of the brain responsible for memory and emotion. That's not just words. It actually destroys your ability to think clearly and maintain emotional balance. But the effects of recycling don't come instantly. They're not something you feel in a day or two. They accumulate, like an explosive that's quietly waiting to happen. Chronic stress increases the likelihood of diseases such as hypertension, stroke, and type 2 diabetes, as well as worsening sleep quality and exacerbating chronic diseases. You can't avoid it. The longer you ignore these signals, the closer you get to the moment when your body simply says, I can't take it anymore. Fatigue, which leads to illness, to depression, to a loss of meaning in what you do. These are not mere fears or speculation. These are facts. In 2018, a World Health Organization report was published that proved that occupational burnout is now officially recognized as a disease. It affects not only your career, but your health, your psyche, and even your life. Those who work too much are risking their health. Studies show that every hour of excessive work increases the risk of cardiovascular disease and early death. One of the most recent meta-analyses, conducted in 2020, found that recycling increases the likelihood of heart attack by 45%. You can fool yourself, but you can't fool your body. Behind every overload is a reckoning. If you don't stop in time, the consequences can be unbearable. Recycling is a health and happiness killer. You need to change your life. You deserve more.